San Diego City's volleyball team season comes to an abrupt end, and the news isn't good.
Rutgers University has sparked a lot of interest about college sports. We'll have more about what students are saying about college coaches.
Escalating tensions between North and South Korea, what the United States is doing in case of an attack.
And we have severe weather warnings in other parts in the country, but San Diego is basking in tropical sunshine. I'll have all that and more. Newscene starts now.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Newscene. I'm Jennifer Hua.
And I'm James Smith. Thank you for joining us.
Bad news for the City College men's volleyball team. The remainder of their season has been canceled. This after 3 players, including the team captain, were indefinitely suspended. Maria Elena Castellanos is here to explain.
That's right, Jennifer and James. The 3 players, including the team captain, have been expelled from the team on suspicion of smoking marijuana on or near the campus following a practice session on Monday, March 25th. This is YouTube video of Captain 21-year-old Chris Chappelle in a game against Mesa College. With a thin bench and these players now removed, the team has no choice but to forfeit the rest of the season. However, the players are still required to show up for practice because, after all, it is still class. According to Dean Kathy McGinnis, all student athletes sign a code of conduct contract agreeing to the district's zero tolerance policy on drugs.
Not only do we test them on reading this paperwork, we actually read it to them before they sign it. So we do due diligence to make sure they understand the expectations of being a student athlete.
In terms of students on campus smoking, we also have our student code of conduct where we can refer the matter to the Dean of Student Affairs, and it can show on your academic records.
It is unclear whether this violation actually took place on campus or nearby in Balboa Park, and which policy agency handled the incident. We want to make it clear that no arrests were made, and so far no criminal charges are involved. The 3 students involved were not expelled from City College. And Jennifer and James, unfortunately, the worst part of the situation is that the students that did nothing wrong will no longer have an opportunity to play the rest of the season.
That is very unfortunate. Wish them the best of luck, though. Thank you, Maria Elena.
That's terrible. Well, outrage continues to grow after the Rutgers basketball fallout. Our Briley Oaks has the video that sparked the controversy over head basketball coach Mike Rice.
Watch as Rutgers head basketball coach Mike Rice rages against his players, grabbing them, kicking them, and even throwing balls at his team. And if that wasn't enough, he goes on to verbally abuse them. He was fired on Wednesday from the head coaching position after ESPN released this video. Now Rice is speaking out and apologizing for what he did.
There's no explanation for what's on those films because there is no excuse for it. I was wrong.
After Newscene saw this video, we wanted to know if something like this could hit close to home. So we spoke to the City College assistant basketball coach, Joe DeAndro.
Having been an athlete, a student athlete, and a college athlete myself, practice sessions, game sessions, locker room environments, they get intense. And 97% of the time, it's to bring the best out of yourself, your teammates, the coaching staff. So a lot of that stuff is very common. Now, where it's not common is where the physicality, where he put his hands on another player.
But is there a difference between being motivated and being bullied? And if so, is it happening here? We spoke to Trevor English, a City basketball player, and he had nothing bad to say about head coach Mitch Charlins.
There's no physical abuse, nothing like that. I mean, he's really good about, a player-coach's relationship and how it should be. And, he's more of a player's coach, so he's going to let you play the game. And he's going to coach you on it, but he's not going to hit you if you miss a layup.
Trevor also told us he has had previous coaches who bullied him, but none of them ever crossed that line. Reporting from City College, Briley Oaks, Newscene.
This morning it was announced that the athletic director at Rutgers has been fired. Now pressure is mounting to fire the university president who knew about Rice's outburst for more than 3 months.
Tensions rise between North and South Korea this week after workers were locked out of a jointly operated industrial park. The incident follows North Korea's announcement to restart a nuclear reactor that has been shut down for 5 years. South Korea's defense minister Kim Kwon-jin says military action is being considered if the situation is not resolved. South Korea has deployed naval destroyers in response to recent threats, as North Korea prepares for missile launch moving mobile launchers to the coast. The U.S. is deploying an advanced missile defense system to protect against possible attacks on Guam. San Diego-based destroyer the USS Decatur was en route home when it was remissioned back to the Western Pacific as threats from North Korea increased daily. The Decatur will be monitoring activity by North Korea, which plans on restarting a dormant nuclear reactor this week. The USS McCain will join the Decatur to take part in the missile defense mission. Neither ship is part of the U.S.-South Korea exercise Full Eagle.
The National Rifle Association has proposed a plan to stop mass shootings in public schools. The NRA's plan would be place armed guards on school campuses, but other lawmakers want to train teachers how to use firearms in order to prevent incidents similar to past school shootings.
Let me emphasize, this is not talking about all teachers. Teachers should teach.
The National School Shield Programs proposes enhancing training for school resource officers and better security infrastructure. While the Obama administration hasn't ruled out some form of armed protection on school property, Vice President Joe Biden made it clear the idea wasn't his top priority. President Obama put gun control back in the spotlight earlier this week when he made a visit to Aurora, Colorado, site of the movie theater Killing Spree.
An Atlanta grand jury indicted 35 educators from this week in connection to a standardized test cheating scandal. They were ordered to turn themselves in Tuesday or face arrest. Beverly Hall, the former superintendent, is one of many teachers, principals, and test administrators facing criminal charges. The investigations into the significant improvements in standardized test scores found that between 2005 to 2009, test scores were changed, fabricated, and falsely certified. Beverly Hall, who won Superintendent of the Year in 2009, stood to gain $500,000 from the improved test scores. She faces up to 45 years in prison if convicted on all charges.
The end of tax season is quickly approaching, and thousands of San Diegans have yet to file their taxes. Our Briley Oaks found a program that can help millions of people around the country file their taxes for free.
This is the actual form that was sent to the IRS.
A nationwide program and a group of local college students have teamed up to provide tax services for free.
We provide an avenue for mainly students to get their tax returns prepared. VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, has been a program on universities since 1971.
Accounting students at SDSU have already helped more than 200 people and will file nearly $8 million in returns this year. Taylor Shakowski is one of the 200 taxpayers using VITA services, mainly for this reason.
It's free.
So who qualifies for the free tax help? Students, faculty and staff, as well as community members who earn less than $55,000 in 2012. You also must be filing a California state return. You cannot come in if you are self-employed or have more than 4 stock sales from last year. But just how long does this entire process take?
You know, we want to get people in and get people out. Like our goal is to do 1 return per table every 30 minutes.
So you filed your tax return?
And since I qualified, I decided to put VITA to the test.
I was in and out in just 30 minutes, and all I had to do was bring my W-2s, my ID, and my social security card.
If you want to see your tax return a little faster, don't forget to bring your bank information for direct deposit. Reporting from San Diego State University, Briley Oaks, Newscene.
SDSU plans to see 400 taxpayers by the April 15th deadline. To find a VITA location near you, just go to IRS webpage and type in your zip code.
And we're one step closer to having our own brain map. Find out which political leader is on top of this initiative.
I'm sorry. Baseball season is back, but are the Padres ready for it? Stay tuned for more.